y'all need to check out Diego Pellicer. And that's a smooth segue. So, we've dicked around, we've talked a little bit about it, but let's find a way. How did we find each other, but also how did we find the light of, I'm going to open a goddamn dispensary in Denver?
Yeah, so Diego Pellicer as a concept.
Sorry, I'm saying it wrong.
Give or take 5 years ago now, the idea was to open a professional retail shopping experience in cannabis. We felt it was lacking in the industry out here in Colorado. Most of the cannabis shopping experiences were very clinical or head shoppy, and we just didn't feel like there was a comfortable retail experience that consumers were familiar with outside of cannabis. And a big part of the business model actually was to incorporate female shopping habits and ultimately to create an atmosphere where women feel comfortable shopping. We felt that was a large demographic that was ultimately being neglected by these cannabis dispensaries. So Diego Pellicer was an idea, and it turned into a thing. Ultimately, the upscale shopping experience with customer service. I mean, that's what we really focus on, is the consumer journey, all the different touch points from that consumer journey, from when you check in to when you check out, and even to when you go home. So really just developing the dynamic of that retail shopping experience in cannabis was the business model and the idea. And from there, we've kind of emerged into what we are today, which is a fun recreational cannabis brand. Again, cannabis was very medicinal, very holistic, very clinical. And we feel confident and proud that Diego Pellicer is progressing that model in recreational cannabis to be just more fun. Cannabis doesn't have to be a medicine. Cannabis can be a recreational thing that people engage in, and it's cool. So we're pushing our branding in that direction. You can see with a lot of our new packaging and just the in-store experience, we're pushing that fun dynamic to recreational cannabis.
Yeah, I saw on y'all's Instagram, very Warhol of y'all. But
Right.
At the same time, I noticed what y'all are doing is, and I mean, for those that are listening at home, I don't think I gave you the spreadsheet. Oh, shit. So I don't think I gave you the spreadsheet, but you did mention, those are some of the key issues and questions, and it's an intimidation factor because when folks come to visit Colorado or when they're new to the game or to the industry, you walk in, it's a very intimidating situation, whereas you do walk into y'all's location. For those that are curious, it's Alameda and Federal. It's right there on the corner. You go just down the road and there's the Witty Strip Club with the billboard. I know my scene.
I've never been there.
Yeah, Bill just looks brutally incriminating. But you're also right across the perfect money scene for food in Denver. You have all of the Mexican and Asian foods just right down there. So if you haven't gone, you definitely need to go visit Diego Pellicer.
Pellicer.
Damn it!
So you can say it any way you want.
Of course, the Harvard kids telling us what to do.
Actually,
Cool.
So when we first opened, it was pronounced Diego Pellicer. 2 L's, Pellicer. So the correct pronunciation was Pellicer. And we had a location in Seattle, and we'd gone back and forth with the Seattle location. Are we going to align our branding and go Pellicer or Pellicer? And at the time, we were having customers who were struggling to search for us because they didn't know how to spell Pellicer. So ultimately, we rerouted to Pellicer because it was easier for people to search. Correct pronunciation is Pellicer.
That makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
We get Pellicer a lot.
All right, I'm not even going to pronounce it, that dispensary.
We'll just call it DC for those that are listening. It's kind of like you'll understand this, Bill. It's like a law term. From henceforth,
My sister's a lawyer.
Yeah, probably an Ivy Leaguer if I had to guess.
Went to Duke. Boo.
Same but different.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. From henceforth, we'll call it DC or DP. Damn it.
We've considered rebranding to just Diego's to make it easier on everybody. We'll see if we get there.
Well, y'all made a lot of things easier on folks, from how you're able to shop and ask questions, but some of those questions still lie. You're not allowed to touch product with your hand, and with the new protocols of cannabis of COVID, how many folks are allowed in, you're standing outside. There's a lot of things that are working against the average consumer going into it. And so what we wanted to do today was learn a little bit more about y'all's modus operandi, but also Latin. but also answer some questions that kind of scare folks away from the casual, from going from buying weed from just you only have one choice to, which is us Mississippi, Alabama guys, to having, everything at your fingertips. What do we do next?
Sure.
And I feel like one thing that's kind of been big, and Chris has prefaced it on previous podcasts, is that becoming essential has brought a lot more business to y'all's door. And so I just kind of want to touch a little bit about how that's been for y'all. Obviously, COVID sucks, but y'all have been able to keep your doors open. Y'all have been deemed essential. How has business been conducted before and after, and what are the differences?
Sure.
But hold on, before addressing that, though,
sorry.
let's figure out, how did y'all meet and how did you get into the cannabis industry?
Oh, that's a
you
good
started
question.
as a young gun.
My
but-
brothers lived here for about 15 years, so I would visit him like every summer. Of course, I avoided the winters. And I just got sick and tired of dealing with like rich white assholes on the golf course that I was like, you know what? I want to get into another industry. I know cannabis. He's like, you got to move out here. Florida's, I don't know how many years before Florida's going to become rec. So he talked to me to moving out here. So I moved out here. I sent a few resumes in, and the only person that would hire me was the owner of TGS, the Green Solution. Now, initially they hired me to like run one of their dispensaries. It didn't work out that way. I think they just kind of wanted me to come in because I was better than most of the other people that were applying.
Right.
And then I became a bud tender there, and then I realized, you know what? I don't know as much about this industry as I think I do. So I kind of stuck around as a bud tender and just soaked everything in.
You got to applaud that.
Yeah,
like, when you don't know, and know
if
when you
I
do.
don't know, I want to learn. That's the thing. So I wasn't going, well, I should be a manager. Look at my resume. I was like, you know what? I don't know shit. I need to start learning. So I soaked up everything I could until I realized, you know what? I can run this business better than they can. So I moved on to another dispensary. I won't mention their name because most of the dispensaries in Colorado are just run by just not very nice people, unfortunately.
Not Harvard-educated people.
No, it has nothing to do
sure.
with education. It's just they're not very nice people. They don't take opinions correctly for some reason. Anytime you give them an idea, they're like, don't tell me how to run my business. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to work for anybody like that anymore.
See, okay, so, and I'm going, for those that are rolling their eyes at home and going, oh, look at Bill being all, I'm with you. Like, when you were like, I don't want to hear old, rich, white people tell me what to fucking do. I used to do medi-sales, and I had to get the fuck out of there for that same reason.
Yeah.
They're like these, I spent 9 years in school and spent $250,000. By the way, I have the personality of a fucking brick. Like, I don't want to have to sit there and suck this guy's dick or talk to him just to get his business.
I sucked so many dicks in the golf industry.
Metaphorically,
yeah. Well,
nothing
yeah.
wrong with literally
nothing,
as well.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
if my wife is listening, I didn't do that. No.
Good thing I didn't drop the question about
But they were just rich white assholes that you had to actually sit there and listen to them bitch and moan, and you got to go, you're right, sir. I'm sorry. What else can I do for you? And that just kind of wore on me. I was like, you know what? After 25 years, I said, fuck it. I'm out of here.
See, so this is becoming one of the problems with the cannabis industry as well as the fucking influencer. It's like, oh, suck my dick, I have a dispensary. Or, oh, you don't smoke fresh frozen rosin. Like, suck my dick, I'm a casual consumer.
Right.
We are the guy that's paying your light bill.
Well, that's what's funny is I don't think dispensaries understand, like, that first interaction you have with your bud tender, that can either make you like want to come back, or it can make you be like, he didn't really give a shit, or she didn't give a shit, so I'm not coming back here. And you can tell that when you go in. Like, I've been in several dispensaries where I came in there and they were happy and they were really informative, and they just act like they cared, not like, oh, we're gonna get
right. Well, that's what's great about Diego. First of all, I don't hire any bud tenders that do not have personality. They have to have personality. They need to know how to talk to people, have fun, answer questions, and my interview process is different than maybe most people. I want to joke around with you. I want to know if you have a sense of humor. I want to, if you can answer questions quickly, if you can get jokes. That's what I want, because that's what the consumer is in cannabis.
It's the same person that should be on the other side.
They want to have a good time. They don't want to feel threatened. The reason what attracted me to Diego is I was leaving another position with another cannabis company, and I remember walking into Diego Pellicer and going, this is a golf shop.
Dude,
this is not a
so nice.
medical dispensary. I'm like, this is badass. I want to work at this place. So I actually contacted Nick through LinkedIn, which nobody answers DMs on LinkedIn, by the way.
Wait,
it's a waste of time.
As someone that does business development, I can attest, nobody answers.
Nobody.
What the fuck are you doing on LinkedIn?
But Nick did. Lucky for me, Nick did. And he's like, you know what? Come on down. Let's have a conversation. We had a conversation, and our attitudes aligned, our vision aligned. We have fun together. What I wanted from a company was, are you going to listen if I have an issue? Are you going to listen if I have an idea? And they're like, hell yeah. Most of them don't want to listen.
Yeah.
And Nick and Neil listen. They're like, hey, that's a great idea. Let's do that. Let's try this. They weren't like standoffish. So I'm actually lucky to be working for this company, believe it or not, because I had some horror stories that I won't even repeat with other companies. So,
well, let's talk a little bit more about the company itself. So, it's come to fruition. What you mentioned the years, but I can't do math. It's now been 5 years, 4 years.
So we opened on 15? Valentine's Day, 2017.
4 years. Sorry.
4 years.
Okay, so yeah,
I
was like, yeah, math.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about. I have a lot of questions. It's a saturated market. How do you pick where you buy your products from? How you pick your team? What companies you work with? As y'all can see, I saw a lot of folks I know personally. My guy Kier, Saucy Southern, used to be an employee of y'all's.
Yeah.
Now sells his product out of y'all. So not only are you creating a space for local, guys that are creating their own product. You're like, let's take a flyer on a hot wing sauce that has THC in it, which is now, by the way, fucking revolutionary.
Absolutely great idea.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But Saucy Southern, my guy from Mississippi that does the artwork as well as does the cannabis. But you're also, you have Snacksland and Seed and Smith. You have some of the cream of the crop guys and crews in your collection.
Sure.
How does this go about? Tell us a little bit about why do you have such a great selection and how you come about picking them?
So, inventory procurement in the Colorado cannabis industry it's interesting.
I'm very curious as to how this works.
It's interesting. And Diego, we carry, we've got over 250 SKUs at any given time. But we don't do that for like intimidation by any means. You come into Diego, you could get 50 kinds of concentrates, so that'll take up a good portion of the SKUs, different strains. Relationships that we've accumulated throughout the years. This industry is kind of like a high school, which is interesting.
It's same as the restaurant industry. It's
totally.
Very incestual here in town.
Absolutely, and you watch these companies and these people and these employees grow in this industry, and you grow together. And Saucy's is a great example of just giving other people an opportunity in the cannabis industry. They're not giving out licenses anymore, so we've got some unique opportunities with a MIP that we have. We've got a cultivation facility. We've got their dispensary. So giving people a chance is definitely important to us. Inventory procurement based on market demands. We know what's hot.
Dude, you're about to nerd out. But what's hot and what's not is what you meant to say. Okay,
cool. And of course we carry all the most popular brands in Denver and in Colorado. But we also like to carry some unique SKUs. And Bill is a great inventory procurement guy. These vendor relationships is a big deal, especially in cannabis. If you don't get the inventory list, you're not getting it. Good luck getting a lot of these exotic genetics unless you have the relationship. So just managing that and then just catering to the Diego Pellicer experience. Like I said, it's a recreational dispensary. It's fun. And to carry these exotic Jello phenos and live resin buckets and that's what we do, and that's our lifestyle. So it's not that hard for us to go out and buy the stuff that we want to smoke and the stuff that we want to consume.
So how long did it take to build, not necessarily this umbrella, but this network? I've been, metaphorically sucking dick in this podcast game for 3 years, whether it be cannabis or restaurant. How long did it take you to build this, we'll call it a black book of, people that you want to work with, folks that have killer strain seeds. You can go back to the well multiple times. Sure. How deep is that book, and how do you develop that book? Don't tip your hand for any of those noobs out there trying to steal your thunder.
For me, it's been it's been 10 years of just working with people, and for me as a dispensary